Hello and welcome to How's That? Going to be a super Sunday in IPL 2020. It was an incredible Saturday evening. Two teams that you would expect to do really well, Royal Challengers Bangalore and Delhi Capitals, crumbled under pressure. Good morning, Vijay. Were you surprised at what happened yesterday in the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah, good morning. I was surprised indeed because both the teams played against the run of play because they have been promising so much. They have been improving with every game. Yes, you may get one odd a game where you may not be at your best, but last night they were at their worst.
Vijay, both teams were coming off defeats in their last games, and it was always going to be difficult, especially when you have lost a game, to motivate the side and then pull yourself up and try and do well, because this is a very, very critical stage of the tournament, and one of those two sides can actually crash out of the tournament if things don't go their way in their final matches. One of the teams can actually bow out on net run rate.
I agree, but when you talk of motivation, I mean, you have in one team, you have a coach like Ricky Ponting. What more motivating, what bigger motivating figure you need? In the other team, you had a captain like Virat Kohli, I mean, who is known to inspire everyone around the world with his cricketing deeds. But some of the tactics, some of the selections also, I'm wondering, if they've been spot on. But there's lot for them to ponder and recover because there is very little time left. And
Vijay, when you look at both games, and we have spent about 12 hours now since the game ended, when you look at them, you know that both Delhi Capitals in the first game and then Royal Challengers Bangalore in the second game did not pay heed to the conditions. They tried to bat in the normal manner and paid a heavy price. But credit to the bowlers who read the pitch really well and bowled within their limitations. They did what was needed to be done on a given track and took their side home. But the batting units of both Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore, both of them mighty, were very, very disappointing yesterday.
yeah, but don't you think it is strange? I mean, for some of the professionals, stalwarts of the game, not to be able to read the pitch or the conditions and adapt, and because they've been into the tournament more than a month and they know very well that the pitches are now on the slower side. Bowlers have come to understand the tactics very well. They have read each other so much, so better now. So challenges will be different. And second half of the tournament, Raja Raman, we have seen bowlers have come to dominate, especially the spinners. So here, I think tactically, if you're not able to adapt and adjust, it speaks poorly on the leadership.
I look at someone like a Sandeep Sharma, who bowled really well for Sunrisers Hyderabad, has taken on the role that Bhuvneshwar Kumar would with the new ball, picked up early wickets and became man of the match. I look at him, Vijay, and he said something very interesting, that his challenge is not just to bowl the first over, but also to provide inputs to the other bowlers about the nature of the track. And when you hear someone like him say that, you wonder if the opening batsmen do not pass on the right kind of messages to the others who come into bat.
Definitely, they must be passing on the messages, Raja Raman, but there is very little time left. At the most, when he is crossing, maybe he'll quickly say ball रुक रहा है या ball तेज निकल रहा है, ये बहुत आज तेज डाल रहा है, whatever. So it is not that they won't be able to give messages. There are messages coming during the breaks also. So it is. But the bowler gets very little time because he has to push his deliveries in a specific period of time. And here, Sandeep Sharma, all credit to him. Imagine he's taking over the main role and then bowling to some very classy batsmen and getting them out. So I like this Sandeep's attitude. He's done it for Punjab for many years, and now he is doing it so beautifully in the IPL.
Let us watch what Sandeep has to say at the press conference, Vijay.
Obviously, I bowl the first over from my team, so I have that responsibility to read the pitch as soon as possible and pass the message to other bowlers. So yeah, I have been taking that responsibility. Actually, when I started bowling the first over, pitch was a little bit sticky. So plan was to bowl wicket to wicket as much as possible, and top of off stump and change of pace variations. Yeah, so we tried to do that, and it came up nicely tonight.
When you cast your mind back to the first game, Vijay, you know that Delhi Capitals is the onus is on getting a good start, and their openers have consistently let them down in the second half of the tournament. Shikhar Dhawan falling in the first over yesterday.
Shikhar Dhawan's wicket set the trend because for the opposition, imagine getting Shikhar off the third ball, how much of an encouragement it must be at that point. I mean, you've got the batsman in form, and then that kind of a start. But my biggest disappointment will remain Rishabh Pant. I mean, he has not been able to shoulder the responsibility, not able to understand what his role is, and also look at Prithvi Shaw. I mean, after such a encouraging start in the tournament, he has fallen by the wayside. I mean, he's not even looking 10% of what the batsman he is. Probably somebody needs to speak to him. There is just one game left for them to recover. But I'm very, very disappointed with Rishabh Pant.
For a team that is heavily dependent on Indian batsmen to do well, Delhi Capitals were led down by all four of them, even though Shreyas Iyer did hang in there for a bit, did not do enough to take the side to a decent score. And when you don't score enough, it's always going to be challenging, even for a bowler like Kagiso Rabada and Anrik Nokke, to try and stop the opposition. They were crushed yesterday, Delhi Capitals were.
Crushed is the right word because Shikhar Dhawan not doing well, Rishabh Pant failing, Prithvi Shaw failing. I mean, there's too much of pressure on the bowlers, and every time you can't expect Rabada or Nokia to just deliver because now the pitches have changed. I mean, they're not really assisting the fast bowlers. They are trying their best, but the bonus is squarely lies on the shoulders of the batsmen.
It needed bowlers like Trent Bolt and Jasprit Bumrah to pick up 3 wickets each and put Mumbai Indians in the driver's seat. But it was interesting that Mumbai Indians sent Jayant Yadav to the press conference. He was playing his first match. The off spinner turned in a very good spell, even though he didn't pick up wickets. But it was interesting to see him come to the press conference.
It's all about trying to have an impact whenever you get the chance, and trying to keep myself motivated. I think as players, it's pretty evident only 11 can play, and there's very clear-cut communication in our camp of places where or matches where against different teams, matchups against different teams where I could come in. So I always knew that Delhi Capitals will always be a matchup. So I was pretty prepared for this game. So the idea was to extract more spin with the newer ball, and because as Krunal bowled the first over in the power play, second over, his first over, he said that the feedback was that it's stopping a bit. So that's when I think Paulie said that okay, I'll also have to bowl in the power play. In power play, the plan is pretty simple. Just try and contain the runs in whichever way the best suited to a different batsman. Different plans for different batsmen. So yeah, that was the plan.
He speaks really well. A very very grounded person, and I've known him from very young age. I mean, his father Jay Singh was a very dear friend of mine who played for Indian Airlines, and he dreamt of his son playing for India, and he did. And Raja Raman, let me tell you, Rahul Dravid also has had an influence on Yadav. So here I was not surprised how he grabbed the opportunity because he was preparing all the time. He was getting ready for this opportunity. He was told that suddenly he may have to play a match towards the end of the tournament. So he was held back for this purpose, which speaks of good tactical acumen of the team. And because they must have known the pitches will slow down, and someone like Jayant will definitely come in handy, and he did.
The spinners, of course, have had a big role to play. We got to see Shahbaz Nadeem turn in a good spell for Sunrisers Hyderabad in the other game. And for someone who has been in and out of the side, not played enough in the past 5 weeks, he did a very good job in that small ground, Vijay. And it was I think it is full credit to the Sunrisers Hyderabad team management for having picked Shahbaz Nadeem to bowl alongside Rashid Khan, and that spell in which they tied down the batsmen was fascinating cricket to watch.
Fascinating. And Nadeem, I mean, if you see, he does sometimes give the impression he's a little worried, but yeah, but he comes back very strongly. And he is again a spinner with a large heart. You should see him bowl in the domestic cricket. He enjoys his cricket, and he's a very good man at heart. If you remember Rajaraman, he did wonderful work during the migration crisis or during the lockdown. So I'm very happy for him. He did well, and he got that very crucial wicket of AB de Villiers.
But it was Sandeep Sharma really who put Hyderabad on top, getting those two big wickets. Devdutt Padikkal, who has been in terrific form this season, he got him bowled with one that nipped in. He got the
Yes.
biggest wicket of the tournament in Virat Kohli, who drove to the man at short cover, and Sandeep Sharma was cock a hoop at having got Virat Kohli's wicket one more time.
It seems people have been saying that Virat Kohli kind of is his bunny, but Sandeep definitely gets embarrassed when people talk about that, because he knows that Virat is a very high caliber batsman. And here you're so right. The wicket of Padikkal was a big boost for him, and then getting Virat put the brakes on RCB. I mean, it showed that Sunrisers Hyderabad was in the game, and they never let go of that pressure.
Speaking of pressure, Vijay, someone who's handled it really well over a number of years, AB de Villiers, came to the press conference and spoke glowingly about the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowler, but then he also admitted to very poor batting by Royal Challengers Bangalore.
The Hyderabad bowlers didn't make a lot of mistakes. I thought they were quite boring out there, which was what was required on this wicket. There was enough in the wicket to just do the basics well. So they hit top of the stumps with the odd cutter, also on a good length. That's all they did, and they backed that up with some really good fielding. Yes, so we were initially talking about 160, which I think was a bit high. So right at the end there, we were starting to talk about 140 would be a good score. Look, first of all, credit to them. They bowled exceptionally well from the word go. They didn't give us a lot of boundary balls. Their seamers particularly started well in the power play. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. And then after the power play, it didn't get much easier with Rashid, who didn't bowl a lot of bad balls either tonight. So I think they applied a lot of pressure. And then the turning point was probably when Josh and I got out back to back. That cost us probably 20 to 30 runs if you look at it now, which is unfortunate. At the end of the day, I think that might not have been enough in any way. The wicket the field got very wet in the second innings, which changed the conditions quite a bit, and maybe 140 would have been shorter as well in any way. Not at all. We were very well prepared. The openers, the top five, to be honest, had a very good week leading up to this. We've had a lot of meetings talking about the game of cricket, about how we're going to approach it. I thought we did everything we could out there. They bowled very well. They got to sneak a few through, bat and pad, a couple of good catches. They didn't make a lot of mistakes, and yes, maybe we could have played better. I would never shy away from saying that, but they put a lot of pressure on us tonight. The Sharjah wicket was not easy tonight. It was quite slow. The outfield was slow as well, so punching through the covers didn't go for 4, but it went for 1 or 2, which also put a lot of pressure on us.
Rajaraman, I'm so impressed by the humility of some of these stalwarts, how they speak glowingly about their opponents. And AB de Villiers, imagine when he speaks highly of somebody like Sandeep Sharma, the kind of encouragement it will mean for the youngster. So hats off to such stalwarts, who have such spirit to praise the opponents.
In similar fashion, Vijay, it was good to see Sandeep Sharma speak glowingly about the stumping that happened. We got to see AB de Villiers stump Riddhiman Saha of the bowling of Yuzvendra Chahal, who seemed to have mastered the art of bowling with a wet ball, Vijay.
Yeah, and that was a very good dismissal, Rajaraman, a typical leg spinner's dismissal, where he flights the ball and he beats the batsman on both in the air and off the pitch, and the keeper is almost anticipating and pulling off a stumping. It was not a difficult stumping because Saha was stranded, beaten in the air, but a lovely dismissal to watch.
Full credit to the bowler, in fact, and Yuzvendra Chahal has done well for himself. He was perhaps the only positive for Royal Challengers Bangalore last night, but they will have to pull up their socks if they have to get into the knockout They've got a big game against Delhi Capitals. One of the teams will take the second place. The winning team will become second in the group, Vijay. It will be important for both Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore to turn up at their best and show on the field why they deserve to be second in the group.
They could be either at their best or maybe buckle under the pressure, because in such situations, they do feel the pressure and they're not able to bring off their best. So I expect a low scoring contest.
Speaking of low scoring contest, Vijay, here is Keyur Seta of the North Stand Gang Mumbai asking us this question.
My question for Vijay sir and Raja Raman sir is, do you think openers tend to become too cautious when it comes to chasing a very low total as compared to a huge or a good total? My second question is, going by the form in which Mumbai Indians are currently, do you think it will be a major upset if they don't win the tournament this time?
Thank you very much, Keyur, and thank you, North and Gang Mumbai, for sending us those questions every single day of the tournament. It's been great having you on board. Keyur, to answer your question on low scores and what the opening batsman should be doing, it is always difficult for a batsman to decide what to do. They play on the merit of every delivery, but then when you have a small score, the onus is on the batsman to finish off the game early and pick up those 2 points and ensure that the net run rate goes up. So the challenge is for the opening batsman to adapt quickly to the track. They have seen how the pitches function over the last 20 overs when their side was bowling, and they need to be smart when they're chasing. You cannot go in with a set idea of finishing off in the first 10 overs, else you can lose wickets quickly, or nor can you be very defensive because you've got 20 overs. You've got to play smart cricket and win a game.
And I think to answer the second question, Keyur, North Stand Gang, Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai Indians, they have a strong connect with each other, But he is right. Mumbai Indians has played absolutely stunning cricket this season. And it would be surprising, yes, if they don't win the title. But similarly, I think there are other claimants also. I mean, if you look at Kings 11 Punjab, they started so poorly, came back strongly. Look at Delhi Capitals, they've also promised to win the title. But yes, if you ask me, the most compact team, most consistent team has been Mumbai Indians. And KO, I think you might well be celebrating at the end of the IPL.
But then, Vijay, one game in the playoff, and of course, Mumbai will have two opportunities to get to the final. One bad game in the playoff, and things can turn topsy-turvy. I remember Delhi Daredevils, Virender Sehwag was captain. They dominated the season like few other sides have, and then went and lost both matches. I think it was the year 2011 or was it 2012? I forget. But I can remember them losing both games of the playoff, including getting a Sunny Gupta to start the bowling and leave Moni Morkel out of a very important playoff game. So when you make poor choices, you pay the price, and Mumbai Indians will be wary of not making that kind of mistake that some other teams have made in the past. Vijay, we move on to tonight's game. There is Kings 11 Punjab taking on Chennai Super Kings, which has got nothing to lose. And as it is sinking, it can take Kings 11 along if it plays very smart cricket. And then in the other game, you've got a battle royal between KKR and Rajasthan Royals, two sides that are trying to stay in the hunt and pick up two important points.
Yes, Rajaraman, neither of the match can you afford to miss. Battle Royal definitely with Rajasthan looking to pull it off. And I think CSK is in, like you said, nothing to lose. Kings 11 Punjab definitely has recovered, but even if they win, they will have to contend with Sunrisers Hyderabad, who also has which has a better run rate. So they'll have to watch. They'll have to keep an eye on too many combinations and permutations.
The final game that Sunrisers Hyderabad plays is against Mumbai Indians, and it is the form side of the tournament. Mumbai Indians has been the most consistent so far. So Hyderabad will face a challenge, and Kings 11 will be hoping that Hyderabad does not turn off its A game in Sharjah on Tuesday night. With just 4 games left for the league stage to get over, Vijay, things have got really exciting. all matches have got interest left. Even though Chennai Super Kings is out of the tournament, it still holds a critical place in deciding whether Kings 11 can get into the playoff or not, whether it has a chance of getting into the playoff or not. And Dhoni is playing for pride. He's playing to pick up 2 more points and show that Chennai Kings is not such a bad team after all, even though it is lying 8th in the table. Vijay, it's going to be a wonderful Sunday evening cricket viewing, given the fact that matches are still alive and there is plenty of interest left in the tournament. I hope you enjoy both games tonight, Vijay, and I will catch up with you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy viewing, Rajaraman.
Have a lovely day, Vijay.